Beautiful. Yes, do you want to do the open introduction for us, please, bro?
Yep. Welcome along, football fans. I assume you're football fans if you're listening or watching us on the football referee. So here goes. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me a bruv.
And I'm Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cuz. Welcome to the football referee. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool, they drew yesterday, didn't they? With Milan, didn't they? Now,
Yep.
the controversy, or more appropriately, the bone of contention at the club at the moment is not even their bad form. It's Mo Salah.
Mm.
it's,
Yeah.
it's Mo Salah. I don't even know. Right from time, I'm a bit. I don't know if I like him or not. And it's nothing strong. It's just as a player, as a football player, I don't know where I place him. And then he went and gave that interview saying he's been thrown under the bus. And he said something else about he's 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 earned his shirt at Liverpool.
Mm.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's actually quite an interesting thing because he didn't hold back, did he? When he was surrounded by journalists and things at the game the other day, at the weekend, where he wasn't even brought on as sub, and he was surrounded afterwards. And I read today, I think, that Slot said to him, Slot was saying, "What did I last say to Mo Salah?" I think either on the day of the match, the weekend, or the day before. He said, "I said to him, he's not playing very well at the moment, so I'm not going to start him in the team." I think in the three games he wasn't starting, he certainly came on in one. He might have come on in two, but he came on as a sub later in the game. But he didn't come on at all at the weekend. He said, I said to him, he's not playing well. He needs to sort of try and get back to his best and so on. And the key part of that, I thought, from Slot was he said, that's what I say to any player who's going through a difficult time, which obviously quite a few of the team have been going through that time. Although I have to say, I'm not so aware of another or any other key player, if I can put it that way, being so summarily dropped, which Salah clearly was. I mean, you could look at some of the other players, and I'm a great fan of those Liverpool team. They're great players, including Salah. But I think Van Dijk has been going through a tougher time. He's not been quite as commanding as the captain, or certainly as one of the stalwart defenders as he used to be. So he could have been in a similar situation. But it seems that Slot, I don't know, he maybe looked at Salah and thought, well, he really isn't doing well. Now, what do I think of Salah? I think he's a brilliant footballer. All credit to him. He's an Egyptian. He's off to AFCON, the African competition, isn't he, in the next few weeks? He's a great international player for Egypt as well. But yeah, over the last few years, he's scored plenty of goals. He's one of their top scorers, if not the top scorer, some seasons. And I, I sort of when I heard at the weekend he hadn't even come on before any of this other stuff is what he said. I said, because we were at Fulham supporting Palace and we had a good victory there. And I think it was either going or coming back that we heard that he hasn't been chosen, hasn't come on. And I said, I feel a bit sorry for him because to me, it seems like he's been made a scapegoat for what's happened at Liverpool. We all know what's happened this season. They've had a poor run of form, having won the first five games, albeit fortunately one or two of the games. One or two of the games. But I thought Salah, yeah, I've watched some of the games on TV. I've watched them. I've watched Liverpool play at Palace, and he was playing then, I believe. I'm sure he was. And
Mhm.
yeah, he didn't have a great game, but then nor did any of the Liverpool team, to be honest. So yeah, he's not been himself, but that only fits in with the nature of the team at the moment. Maybe the loss of Jota in those awful circumstances, as we've said before, hasn't helped them, but they've definitely not been on it or at it, as they might be said. So I did say at the weekend, yeah, I feel a bit sorry for him because it's like he's taking the heat, the blame, his scapegoat for what's happened. And then we heard what he came out with. My initial reaction I understand where he's coming from. He feels very hurt. He said he hadn't really spoken to Slot. Well, obviously Slot said he did have those words with him before, but he said I used to have a good relationship with him. Now I'm not so sure. But of course, then following what he said came ever since really a barrage of criticism from the pundits. On Match of the Day, on any other football program. I gather I've heard Jamie Carragher say how wrong he feels, Salah was to say what he said. And I think a consensus would be amongst the so-called experts that maybe, yeah, he can say it, but maybe he should have kept it in-house, maybe not putting it out there. It's like when he was asked questions, it was like there was an outpouring of frustration and hurt and upset, which kind of probably, even by his own admission, he may have thought, well, that probably was a bit strong in what I said. So, and of course, he wasn't in the tour party last night for the match in Italy against Inter Milan. He was dropped from that completely. So what will happen, I don't know. As I say, he's going off to AFCON. Whether he'll play another game for Liverpool, even Slot couldn't answer that question last night. He said, well, I don't know. He said, you'd have to see what his approach is and we see what happens. For my part, I hope it is resolved. I think it will be a great sadness if a player of his quality, who's been at Liverpool for a good few years now, if he were to leave under a cloud. I get the feeling, I thought all the fans would be on his side, and doubtless some are, but I still get the feeling from what I've heard and read and seen that a lot of the fans think, yeah, he had a right to say it, but he should have kept it in-house, not blurted it out around the world. Liverpool players shouldn't do that. So probably that might be where I come from, having initially thought I don't blame him. Probably it would have been a better discretion to say it, either go directly to Slot or say it to the captain. Let it be known what you think, but don't publicise it, because that could well mean he does end.